Hello, his ninjas.
Hello, my ninjas. How y'all doing?
Howdy, y'all.
You know what? Today may be a slow show. It's Super Bowl Sunday, my friend.
Well, I guess people are going to watch the recording of this.
It's not our fault. The NFL decided to schedule their game on our day.
Hey, if they have short viewers because of us, and we're sorry.
Hey, we can't help that. We cannot help that. So, how you been, buddy? How you been?
I've been all right. There's Typical Watch. What's up, buddy?
All right. How you doing, buddy?
Here.
All right. So, I don't know what is going on, but things are freezing up on my end.
Really?
Yeah, I'm plugged in, man. I ain't running on Wi-Fi, so I don't know. It has something to do with you, or it must have something to do with you, because
Oscar's over there in this corner itching away on something. Good.
Well, you're on Wi-Fi though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole house is Wi-Fi here.
Since you're the head tech guy of this whole thing, mine is running through yours.
You cut out. Couldn't hear you for a while.
Wow.
That was weird. I saw your finger going like that. I couldn't see anything else. Everything okay? Yeah, everything's good. We're just waiting for our guest to get here because I sent the notification out a little late. That was my fault. So we're just waiting on him, and if he shows up, who knows?
All right. We got K-Pup in the house. Not just any K-Pup, the real K-Pup.
Yeah.
The real K-Pup.
The real one.
How you doing, buddy? We got Deb Bryant. How you doing?
Blue-Eye Northern.
Blue-Eye Northern.
All right. We're just waiting on our guest here to show up. And Christy has to get some stuff done right now.
Well, she's more than welcome to take her time.
That's what I told her. So take her time, but she says no.
Don't stress on it. She's got it on right now. She's running around like a chicken with her head cut off. Don't stress.
Don't trip. Don't
fall. Chatter chip.
Over the wall. Don't fall. Wipe your sweat. Goes that. Oh, never mind.
Copyright. Oh, bleep, 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 bleep.
Yeah.
Weird.
So now, if you guys want to, I have to do the shout out for Cryptid Canada. So
yeah,
we have to do it.
Well,
if you guys want to tell your story,
it's not that we have to do it; we want to do it because it's great.
Right.
Show.
Well, also not just that; they're at the end of their barrel. She says her barrel is running dry.
Oh, wow!
So she needs help. If you guys have stories, write it out, send it to her.
You know what? I don't doubt that when all that snow and stuff and all this weather starts getting better, she's still going to start getting flooded again because it's winter time. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's snowing, it's raining in places and stuff like that. And stuff like this is somewhat seasonal for the most part. You know what I mean? You live up in Canada, you sucked in with snow. I mean,
pretty much.
If anybody's tried going hiking in snow, it's not easy. It's actually really. I mean, you could be sinking up to your knees in snow when you take steps, and you take that one step, and you're down in between a bunch of boulders 12 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see what's under the snow, so it's a very dangerous thing to do. And
Oscar's over here attacking something. What are you doing, Oscar? Oscar, what are you doing? What are you doing? So what? What? I'm busy. Oh, good grief. I was right in the middle of something. Go back to work.
All right. Well, there's Christy in the chat. I'm
Yeah,
coming.
there she is.
I'm coming. Calm down, Christy. Take your time. We're gonna be here for a little while. You get plenty of time. Relax.
Plenty.
Tom Paul Cajun, how you doing, buddy? How y'all doing?
Howdy, howdy. We're up to 10 people. I emailed him, Christy, but I don't know where he's at yet.
You know, I don't know where he lives, but I know
I don't either.
Some storms going on somewhere.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Ken the other day, and he sent me a screenshot of the weather for his area. And it was like 32, 33, 32
Good grief.
snow. And then and it was, you know, I'm just getting ready for the freaking cold. So,
yeah.
I don't think he got a lot of rain last year. I don't think he got snow though. Last year. So
my first time in Montana, I remember going up there. My sister says, "Let's take my dog for a walk." Man, I wasn't prepared for that crap.
Oh, dude. You know what?
Man.
Me and my wife were looking at places to buy up in northern Idaho and stuff, and we ended up over in Montana. And my father-in-law was telling us, you know, this pass. When it snows, it doesn't get plowed. You're stuck.
Yeah.
So think about this. I know the place is a good deal. It's got a lot of land. But think about this, because during the winter months, you're stuck.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I went up there. I was working with her ex-husband, and he was a master craftsman for woodwork. I mean, he's really good. I mean, entertainment centers would be in the thousands. You know?
Yeah.
And he'd hand carve everything. And we were like going to one job site, and that was the first time I ever did that. And then he was like, not the job site, but driving through the snow without a road there, not knowing where the road is. It was all the way up to the hood, and we were just plowing through it. And I'm like, and he's going like 60. I'm like, dude, we don't even know where the road is. He's all, I kind of know where it's at. I'm like, okay.
You know, I mean, just like anywhere, you know, you drive around in an area long enough, you know where the road is, you know where you need to go. Same thing, you know. So you just get accustomed to it, and you just get used to it. So
I started carrying my fire starter and all kinds of. I had a whole kit in my backpack all the time, everywhere I went.
You were ready to go off the edge and spend a night out in the wilderness.
Wherever I went. Yep. After that, I always carried my backpack with fire starter, blanket, all kinds of crap. Tinder, you name it, I had it all in there.
Oh yeah,
at least for a 3-night stay.
Even in my backpack, I got that fire starter you gave me. I got a compass. I got a solar-powered battery bank that's always charged.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, matches, fishing hooks, fishing line, sewing thread, just this little kit that, you know.
I just bought a UV light water bottle. I used to do UV light when I worked at the hospital, and
for sanitize. Yeah.
Right. And it was a big, huge machine that came up with boom, 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 strobed the whole room. I had to do it like 3 times. But this one's in a little thermos kind of like. And then once you close it, it locks it in. And then on the top, you just hit the button until it's done doing its little routine. And then it's drinkable.
Dang.
Yeah. And it was pretty cheap. It was like $29.
Dang.
Yeah.
You probably
instead of worrying about the
life straws.
I tried that already, and I had also the what do you call it? The other deal that you can you put it in a bag and you can filter it I tried that too. That's not very good either. Because you don't, you have to sit there forever and do it.
Right.
All right, here he is right now. Ready?
All right. All right.
Setting it up. Carl, are you there? Can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us yet.
No.
Hello.
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear anything? Not yet. He's not muted on this side, so it looks good here.
Turn his volume up.
Yeah, it looks like he's unmuted and everything else is on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Looks like you might be using a cell phone, so you may need to turn the volume up.
It looks like a cell phone that he might be using. Yeah. Never heard that before.
Carl, can you hear us yet?
Hang on, y'all. I'm trying to get it where I can hear y'all.
Can you hear us now?
Not yet.
No. While he's figuring that out, we got our wonderful moderator, Squatchaholic, in.
Squatchaholic.
Wearing the steel toe boots as usual. Yeah. Chris Jarvis. Yes, for another show.
Well, I'm glad I'm not that in.
Northern Michigan Bigfoot. Johnny Half.
Yeah. Whoa, -7. What in the world? No,
Where?
Thank you. Northern Michigan.
Ooh. You
Wow.
know, it's a different kind of cold.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a different kind of cold.
I couldn't feel my pants at 36 degrees. Can you imagine?
When I'm in Idaho and stuff, because we usually go up in like October, November. I'm good till about 19 degrees in a sweatshirt, and then I got to put a jacket on.
Yeah.
You know,
man.
But I mean,
too, Chicago.
I'm wearing shirts the whole time. People look at me like I'm freaking nuts.
We are. We're 59 right now outside here, and they're talking about minus.
I woke up this morning, man, and it was like 43 this morning at my house.
Can y'all hear me?
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Christy.
Yeah.
Christy Sci-Fi.
I stuck earbuds in so I can hear you now.
What's up,
You can
Carl?
hear now. All right.
Hello.
How you doing, sweetie?
I'm doing all right.
That's good.
I was trying to figure out how to get so I can hear y'all, so I just finally stuck my earbuds in so I can hear you now.
That was probably the problem the whole time.
I thought my Wi-Fi little speaker system would do it, but apparently it didn't want to hook up to that.
Yeah.
The Bluetooth's better anyway because that way you don't get feedback. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we'll hear us talking in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Well,
it's good to have you back, Christy.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lewis. Thank you.
Good to have you back.
Oh, I'm glad to be
And we're
back.
glad
Let
to
me
be
tell you.
okay.
Yeah,
We're
that was
very
a
glad
mess.
that it was a very short trip to the hospital.
Yeah, it was 3 days of torture. Let me tell you, they stuck me with needles left and right. I could not sleep or nothing.
Man,
You know?
they didn't give me a turn. God.
Oh no, you don't want to get stuck in the belly. That stuff hurts. And when that lady came in, she says, I got to give you an IV. I said, are you serious? She said, yeah, I want to make sure that you're not dehydrated. So she come in and she put the needle in, and it was like, oh, and then she put the whatever. It's not the needle; it's the catheter that's on the thing, the plastic piece.
Right.
And every time I crunched my arm, it would hurt. And then they walked in the next morning. They had this yellow thing with a black piece on it with the needle sticking out. I said, "What the hell is that?" She says, "I got to give that to you." And I'm like, "I don't want it. I don't need it. I really don't need it. I'm fine." She's like, "Well, no, we got to give it to you." Pop! I'm about to come out of bed. They did that to my dad about 10 times. Poor thing. He was in the hospital longer than me because he's paralyzed on his left side now. So yeah, that's what I was taking care of. I was helping my sister, you know.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So.
Dang.
Well, it's glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to see everybody.
Yeah.
And I like to say I was on live last night with my friend Ashley, and yeah, right, Patrick. I didn't get no sponge bath in the hospital. They didn't even give me a bath. Yeah, I was like grossed out. As soon as I got home, I went and jumped in the bath. I'm like, no. What I was gonna say is thank everybody for their prayers and blessings to me. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. It means a lot more than anything in the world, believe me.
Well, you know, we take care of family around here, right?
Yep. And I tell you what, you got a whole bunch of family in this community that care about you. I mean, I can name like 10 names on my hands that people that I'm really close with now. It makes you look and see in a different light how when you was before, how you was like a robot. You know, you do everything in repetition every day. And then when something new comes in, like, you know, when you have to say, okay, I got to take care of my parents, you know, that's a hard thing. Somebody talked to me last night about it being a caregiver, and you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. She knows who I'm talking about. She's in the chat room, and it's not an easy thing, and it's really not easy at all. No, you know, especially when you got two. Especially when you got two that's out. My mama can't even walk. My dad, at least, thank the Lord, can walk now, you know. But it really makes you enjoy things more in life, you know. As I got in my truck today, I rolled down the window and I was driving around a little bit, and I started smelling the air and started looking at the different things, and it makes you see things a lot better. It makes you it gives you a different perception of everything in life, you know.
You appreciate the smaller things.
Yes, I've always did appreciate small things. Yeah. I never took anything for granted with that, you know.
Right.
You can't. You gotta look. You gotta look amongst the small things, you know.
Yep. So this is your friend Carl here. Yeah,
Carl Price.
Down there. He's down here.
He's on. You're beneath me. I feel like the Brady Bunch. Lewis is over. Wait. Lewis is on this side. Kevin's on this side, and then me and Carl catty corner. It's the Brady Bunch.
I'm in a spot where the little girl will be.
Yeah.
Cindy, I've done the spot Cindy would be.
I'm telling you. Thank you, Hillary. She says, I'm glad to have you back, dear one. Thank the Lord. Yeah. Hello, Chris. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut everybody off. I just want to tell everybody hello. Pat.
Absolutely.
Pat is like my sister. That's my sister there. And Patrick.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Patrick as your sister.
No, Patrick is not my sister, Pat.
That's
Pat
his sister-in-law.
Blue-eyed northerner.
Just kidding,
no.
Patrick.
Just
kidding, Patrick.
Just messing with you. And then I got another one that I'm
all jokes.
Getting much acquainted with is Sharon. Sharon is like a sister to me too.
That's right.
You know, everybody's saying, I wish we were closer. Yeah, I wish we were closer. But guess what? If we were closer, my ass wouldn't be home. My ass would be in the woods with all my friends.
Right.
We're going squash. Let's go. Come on.
Right.
Put your boots on and let's get on the ground. Let's go.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, let's go do this. Let's get her done.
Let's get her done.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna make it a thing this year. I'm gonna try to get out and meet some people. You know, the ones that are far away. I'm gonna try to get out there and go meet them. Nice. I want to see them face to face. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You know, you never really.
Oops.
I mean, you can say what you want through a text message or through email or whatever, you know, but you never really get to point until you get to pick their hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Tracy's all yelling at me. Take that off. I'm like, I didn't even put it on here.
I did.
Sorry.
Yeah,
So-
I'm so ecstatic with everybody. You know, my phone has been blowing up, and that's what's been keeping me going.
let me tell you,
I'm trying
man.
to get back to everybody saying thank you for your love and your kind blessings and prayers. And you know, like I said, it goes far. It does. It goes far. And
Yeah.
if there was anything that I could do to do in return, I wish I could, but I can't. You know, right now I'm not working, so.
Well, Lewis
go to
was in
work
the
right
hotel
now.
room with no Wi-Fi, and obviously you were in the hospital, so I took it upon myself to do
Yeah.
a video and post it to the podcast. And my email started blowing up.
Oh, really?
Going, we can't leave comments. The comments are turned off on this video. And I had to call Lewis and say, hey, the comments are turned off on that video. I can't do nothing from my end. And he's all, hold on, let me check it out. And he went through, he's all, try it now. So I left the comment. And I'm all, okay, it's working and stuff, man. But let me tell you.
I'm blowing up.
Yeah, and I read some of them, and they're very sweet. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to. I haven't been drinking any Coke, so I've been doing good with that. The cigarette smoking is not elevated. I got myself on 3 cigarettes a day, so 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 at night. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm trying to drink plenty of water.
Dinner.
Huh? Yeah, breakfast, lunch, and
and
dinner. Yeah, last night I kind of smoked a couple. Way a little bit too much. I don't want to do that. I'm trying to drink water. You know. You know, it's just it changes your life on different aspects. But one good thing about it was my mama had a stroke in 1985 when we first moved in this house, and let me tell you, that was devastating. Hers was lower. Hers was her right side. I mean it made her to where she couldn't walk or even talk. I mean, her whole face just hung down. It was scary. I was 13 when. Let's see, no, I was 13 when she had it. Think so. And let me tell you, when you're a kid like that and you don't know what's going on, you know, your mama's, first of all, my mom was a 200 and something pound woman that was on your behind. Even if you went in the back room and messed up your bed, she'd come out and whip your ass. Believe me. Believe me. The hell was that?
I not heard it twice.
Somebody trying to call on my phone.
Oh, it's on your phone?
Yeah, somebody was trying to call me.
So, anyway, let's get the show started. I know I've been babbling on. I'm sorry. I don't want to take over the show. It's not for me tonight. It's for Carl.
Yeah.
Hey, we got hours. We got until midnight.
I know that's right, huh? I don't have to work. I don't have to work. Yay.
Hey.
That's one good thing out of a stroke, right? You don't have to work for a couple of weeks.
No, there's nothing good out of a stroke, but
yeah, but guess what? I can walk. I can move my face. My face ain't like dragging like it was. I watched the last one that we did when I was crying, and I seen my face. I could see the side going down. I'm going, oh, I should have noticed the signs of that before.
yeah, definitely stress induced for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get to the guest.
Let's get your guest started.
All right, Carl.
I guess I should tell how my journey started. I guess start with that. Yeah. I've always my whole life I've always hunted and fished, and my grandparents had 200 acres on the East Fork of Chattahoochee. It was on a dead end. There's no way to get in that river swamp except through their place. At least where I used to go to. As a kid, I used to walk around in the river swamp barefoot, and I didn't think twice about it. And I've been across barefoot prints down in the swamp, and I just didn't think nothing about it at the time. Now, when I got older, I started realizing there ain't no way nobody could get down there. And stuff like that. I've heard the wood knocks all my whole life. I didn't know what they were back in those days. I've heard loud sounds, not really knowing what they were. I guess it was about the 90s when I started suspecting that they were around in Alabama. It was about the time when the Mayaka skunk ape that came about. I said, well, that's just right over there in Florida. That's not far from me. So if they're there, they're probably here. And being in law enforcement, I'd work nights. And sometimes I get sleepy. And when you're driving in around $30,000 vehicle, you don't want to wreck it or get in a wreck and hit somebody. So sometimes I'd pull over in a graveyard somewhere somebody couldn't see me. I'd pull over there and just get a little shut-eye to wake myself up. And I'd hear wood knocks. And it'd be in places you wouldn't want to go in the daytime. And there's a place I lived at up the road from here where I'm living now. I'd go out sometimes at night on the porch about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'd hear wood knocks down in the woods. I've seen the orbs. One time at my mom's, me and my boys were checking out a night scope that we had. And I was looking down in the bottom, it was woods. It's across the pasture and there's some woods in the back. And I seen this like a ball of light. And my first thought was, that's a vehicle driving back there. And I stopped and I said, whoa, there ain't no road back there. That can't be no vehicle. And it just floated along, and just all of a sudden it exploded. And there was one time, yep, this was at my mom's. This was in October. It was about 8:30 at night, and I left her house. And they had a high line that runs across their farm. And it runs across this road, which I turned on. And I saw something ahead, and my first thinking was it was like a herd of deer going across the road. You know how you get that shadow, you see little shadows. And as I started getting closer, it looked like a guy who had a big giant park on. And then I got looking closer, and every time his arms would swing, there was like strings hanging off. And when I got to the spot that he had crossed the road, I looked over, and there was an old logging road right there, and there was a post about 8 foot, maybe 9 foot tall post, and this thing was standing there, and its head was up over the top of the post, and the head looked as big as the steering wheel. And I hit the brakes and I spun around so I could get the headlights on it, and it was gone. I figured if it was a person, that person would still be walking down the road. Not to mention it couldn't have been a person due to all the other stuff. Also, there was green streaks or reflective. I don't know if it was dismal light or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Dismal light. It's like a worm. It glows. In the swamps, you get it all the time in the swamps and stuff. And it looked like he must have had dismal light caught in his hair, but it was reflecting. It was a green color. Then that was 2013, and then I think it was 2017. I had another house down in Geneva County, which is a couple counties south of me now, and I was doing some work on it, and I had a friend that was helping me out, and this was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had left the house and was headed back to where I live now, and she was chewing on some ice, and we went through a crossroads, and all of a sudden she about choked on that ice. I said, what? She says, I just seen something, this big, tall, and hairy, he had a lion's mane on his head. And I hit the brakes, and we spun around, went down there, and it then disappeared. But where we saw that at was within a mile of where, back in 2005, a researcher from California had come out and did a study in the area because the farmer had seen this creature out on the edge of his peanut field 2 or 3 times. And he had some cows that come up mutilated. And that was within a mile of where that happened at. And when I moved over to this place, this was where some weird stuff started happening. I don't know if Christy's got some of those pictures I sent to her or not. And I don't know if I'll be able to share it. I can check and see. But I had, on my road that goes around my place, I had cut some trees out in a curve. It was slapping my truck all the time when I went through there. And anyway, I cut the trees down, and I had took a picture of where I cut the trees down. And later that evening, I sat down, was looking at the picture, and I saw what looked like a Sasquatch. I mean, you just can't deny what it was. It looked like a Sasquatch. I said, no, man, it's got to be shadows or something. So the next day, I went back to the same spot, stood in the same spot. It was the same exact lighting, everything. I recreated everything and took the picture again, and it was nothing but the trees there. And I had found footprints on my place. I had this happen. I had a strawberry bed. I took an old jacuzzi and I made a strawberry bed out of it. And my strawberries kept disappearing, and my thinking was birds were getting it. And I got to think about it. I said, birds, they just peck them. They don't take them. They just peck holes in them. But anyway, I went and got a net and put over the strawberries. And I was doing some work over there around the chicken pen, and I parked my tractor right beside the strawberry bed. And the next morning I got up, I was going to run to the store, and I jumped in my truck, and the battery's dead. I'm like, well, dang. So I walked over to my tractor. I was going to get my tractor to jump my truck off, and my tractor was dead. And then I found out later that my neighbor down the road, about a half a mile, her battery was dead on her car. So my guess is where I parked my tractor, it was in the way of the Sasquatch being able to get to my strawberries. So they killed my battery. On the tractor, they didn't just kill the battery, they also killed my starter. So I had to replace the starter too. And there's another time, this is like a couple months later, I was going to spray my bed of my truck out. And I took the nozzle up and went to spray, and the water would come out, and I looked to see if the hose was kinked. And I said, well, dang, it ain't kinked. So I unscrewed the nozzle, and there was something stuck down in there. I'm like, what the heck? So I knocked it out, and it was 2 strawberry leaves rolled as tight as Snoop Dogg would roll a joint. I mean, they were rolled super tight, and they were stuffed down in that nozzle from end to end, totally packed it. So there ain't nobody comes down here where I'm at. I live on a dead end down here, so I can't force anybody to want to come down here and just stuff some strawberry leaves in my water nozzle.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And I've had logs pulled out in the road around my place, and they'll pull them out. They don't just pull them out; they'll pull them out into it like T shapes and stuff.
Yeah, they'll make A's and Y's and T's and all kinds of stuff.
I've had that.
You said
several times.
You were law enforcement, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're retired now, obviously.
Right.
All right. Growing up or being in the service, did you hear stories about anything? You know, did you get called to odd calls, you know, when you were...
Yeah. And at the time, I wasn't even, thinking about it being a Sasquatch or anything. And I had he actually became a friend of mine later. I went to a call. He called and said, and he has 30 acres and he's got it all locked. He keeps his gate locked. There's no way to get in there unless you got a key. And he would call and said that he hears something on his deck walking around, and he found a footprint out on the deck. And his thinking was it was a neighbor down the road that walked around barefoot all the time, that was sneaking on his place and coming up on his porch. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking it was probably a Sasquatch walking around on his porch. I've had them kind of calls. I've had all kinds of calls for travel reports and stuff. And you get out there and you don't never see nothing.
Yep, 17-inch footprints. Well, that's a big neighbor.
Yeah. Well, it was not a huge. It was probably maybe a size 12 or 13 size foot. I mean, it wasn't real big.
Okay. Oh, okay. I
You
would
know,
say
and
that'd be crazy.
You're talking about how your friend's property is completely fenced in. The only way to get in is a key.
Right. And then the back of his place, the west fork of the Choctaw is in his backyard right there. So you ain't nobody coming across there.
Right. It kind of reminds me of a experience I had, in northern Idaho when we were looking for property to buy up there. We'd come across a place for sale, and we went and looked at it. We drove up there and looked at it, and it was this really cool A-frame place, and had a little river creek running through it. It was like 20 acres or something, and I think about 50 yards out, get past the wood line, I noticed that there were like railroad, like big I-beams. And we're talking like 10-inch square I-beams. Straight up. 20 feet. And I noticed that, and I asked the owner, hey, you mind if I just go walk around out there? He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. You won't get very far. Okay. So, well, he had these I-beams back in the wood line, 20 feet up, and he had chain link fence all the way up, all the way around, maybe 6 acres, and he owns 20 acres. So I walk up and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, the property's beautiful, but can I ask you a question? He's all, what's that? I'm all, what's up with that fence? He's all, the wildlife. I'm going, what, bears? I mean, you get a lot of, bears or cougars and stuff coming through here because of the creek. He's all, not exactly. And at that time, his 8-year-old son had walked away, and he kind of looked around and he pointed at my sweatshirt, and it was the black sweatshirt with the Bigfoot on it. And I'm going, really? Interesting. Well, that fence must have cost you quite a bit to put up. He's like, you have no idea how much money that fence cost. But that was the end of that conversation. It was also that's the reason you're selling the property. He's all didn't say nothing, just nodded his head. So
yeah, I've had house slaps. I was sitting here one night, lady friend was sitting here, we was watching TV, and right on the front of the house here, the corner, I heard a loud pop. I mean, it was loud. And I jumped up and ran out, and my dog, he took off running around the house, barking. And I looked, and I didn't see nothing, and I called the dog back immediately. I didn't want nothing to happen to him. And the next day when I got up, I went out there, there was a muddy handprint right on the shutter. And there's an antenna pole right there too, and you can see where he gripped around the antenna pole and slapped the side of the house. I've had the house slapping done 2 or 3 times, and I've got a spot in the behind me here to the left, I always hear like a rumbling sound. I don't hear it all the time, just certain times of the year. And I have eliminated everything I could possibly think of being drained, making noises, and I mean everything. I've eliminated all the house possibilities of being in the house.
It could be like that. It could be like that commercial with the guy playing the bagpipes.
This is like a distant thunder. If you hear thunder way off in the distance, just a rumble, and you just hear it going.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And it's like, and the only thing I figure is like, it's probably ultrasound. They're beaming, because that's the side of that corner over there of my property is where I have the most activity. And that's the only thing I figure it is. I mean, like I said, it's just certain times of the year, and it'll be on sunny days, it'll be on clear nights, and like I said, don't have them all year long. It's just like spring and summer. It seems like that's when I hear it. Maybe in early fall, and then it dies off during the winter.
Christy sent me the pictures. I'll just put them up real quick, and you can tell us what it is and
Okay.
And how you got these and all that. Let me.
Yeah, I sent them that weird picture that you sent me today. That was weird.
Oh yeah, that's wild looking.
Yeah, that's some weird. I'm sending you more.
Okay.
That is some weird stuff, man.
Dog man, that just looked like a dog man. Serious.
Yeah. Cat, what are you doing?
It looked like he did something to mess up the picture.
Looks like he's got a white head.
Yeah, that's that one that I got today.
That's interesting because if you look at what looks to be the legs.
Yeah, it's got an orch in the leg.
It got a backward looking dog leg.
Yeah, I got that on my game camera. I was checking my game camera today, and that's what I saw. What I found.
That's concerning.
Yeah, I've had the red eyes before. Yeah, I've had the red eyes out there in my chicken pen before.
You get in different lighting so you can see something different better. Yeah.
Yeah. But it definitely looks.
It looks like he's bent over. It looks like it's bent over, and you can see finally see a head shape.
Yeah, it looks like he's either motion blur, which would suggest moving at a high rate of speed.
It's like that video I got.
Or
and when it's running by, it's like all you saw was a blur of a big animal running by, and you could clearly look like a dog man. But that's what that looked like, just like that. If you did a still on it, it would look just like that.
That's
pretty wild.
Creepy.
I wouldn't be going out in those woods. Thank you.
Well, Carl, tell them about what happened to your goats and all, too.
Well, I know this last time, I know what that was. That was wild dogs did that.
Yeah.
I had some wild dogs get in my goat pen, killed 8 of my goats, and we killed 5 of them, and 3 of them got away. But I've had, before that, I've had like little babies that would die, and I'd see them laying out there in the pen, and it would be late, and I said, well, in the morning I'll get up and go toss it on the burn pile. And I'd get up the next day, and it'd be gone. Now, that's happened several times where a young one died, and it'd be gone the next day.
Do you think they die just from exposure to the weather, or just complicated pregnancy?
Sometimes they're born and there ain't something right about them, and the mama knows it, and she won't let them get the suckle and get that colostrum, because they have to have that colostrum in the first 24 hours, and if the mama thinks there's something wrong with it, she'll usually deny them getting that, and that's what kills them.
That's terrible.
No.
I've caught them myself before, and I don't let them die if I catch them in time, because I'll hold mama down and I'll make sure he gets that colostrum, and then I'll ball feed. That's how I handle those that, and they end up growing up, but they're no good. They don't produce nothing.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the life of having cattle. You know what I mean? So it just kind of goes with the territory. But have you had any odd deaths with your goats or cattle or anything like that?
No, nothing I can really.
Missing animals.
Nothing I can pinpoint anything. For the most part, I've been kind of lucky with the animals. Just occasional, like I said, a young one will die and then it disappears. And there's hog wire, so it's not no real simple fence to get over. It's 5-foot hog wire.
Oh,
so
okay.
It has to be something that can get over and into the pen. It's tall enough to just step over it.
Have you found any inconsistencies in your hog wire or anything like that, where it looks like somebody put a hand on it and pushed it down to step over? Or?
Yeah, I found a footprint. Well, let me back up. I had walked out about 2 o'clock in the morning on the back porch to take a leak, and about the time I walked out, I heard pow, loud slap towards my goat pen, and all my goats, man, they all took off running right straight towards me over to the security light. And as soon as they got out of that security light, they all turned at the same time, looking in that direction where the sound come from. So the next morning I got up, I walked down the fence line trying to find something, and I found a footprint. And it was I wear a size 13 boot, and it was bigger than my foot.
Dang.
And it was on hard. It was hard, sandy loam, but it was really, really hard. So it had to be something heavy to leave an imprint on there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I've had my feed bins gotten into. I'll go out there some days to feed my goats, and the feed bins, the tops will be off of them. And I know for a fact I close them every time I use them, because a little bit of damp, it'll ruin the feed. That's too much money to let that happen. I make sure I close them lids.
That reminds me of a story I heard about your feed bins and stuff like that. Guy had bought a 50-gallon barrel, big plastic one with the big screw top on it, and he dumped all his dog food in it. He'd gotten a bunch of dog food. Awesome deal, you know what I mean? He didn't want to go to waste. He got one of those big 50-gallon barrels, had it out in the frickin' barn. Top, always made sure to screw the top on so the rats and rodents couldn't get in there. And he'd feed his dog out of it and stuff. He went to go feed his dog one day, the whole dang barrel was gone.
Hey, Christy,
carried the whole dang barrel off.
Send it to my messenger.
Your messenger?
Yeah, I can't use it off my phone messenger.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's all right. Sorry. I can't use the pictures off from my phone.
So, Carl,
you can't transfer them to yourself?
No. I tried. I couldn't do it off my phone.
Okay.
Carl, this is a question that we ask everybody, and I think you kind of already answered it. But what was the clincher that got you into thinking about Bigfoot? Was it just putting things together from your life?
Just putting it together when I started realizing that they're around here. And then I actually got talking to other people, and one guy's a lawyer, He was telling me a story about over there around close to where my grandparents' property is. That as a kid, he saw Bigfoot, and just like when I started becoming aware of it, I started putting together all these things that happened all my life. And I'll be like walking out, getting out of the deer stand after dark and walking up the logging road. I mean, it's pitch dark. Sometimes I forget my flashlight and have to walk out of that dark, scary woods. I'm telling me it's dark in there. And something would be pacing me. And as soon as I'd stop, it'd stop. And every now and then I'd like skip a step and I'd catch the footfall be, out of sequence. So I know for a fact that was something following me right there along the edge of the wood line. And I've been in a deer stand before. I'm talking about this was a calm day. There's no wind or nothing. And about 75 yards to the right of me, there's this big, tall, huge pine tree that had died. But it had been standing there forever. And as I'm sitting there, all of a sudden I hear a crash, and I look over and hear this big pine tree is falling to the ground. So I'm thinking they were trying to scare me out of there. I mean, just that kind of stuff all my whole life. I had kind of weird stuff like that happen to me. And like I say, once I got to the realization that around here, I just put all that together, that a lot of that stuff probably was them.
So do you actively go out looking for evidence or anything like that today?
No, I just usually run across it when I'm out working on my place. And or if I go hunting or something, I'll run across something. I've got to have a hip replacement, so it's hard for me to get out and do a lot of walking around.
I understand that. Just my wife needs 2 knee surgeries. Oh. Well, I mean, it's good that you don't have to go far, that they're coming around your place, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my father-in-law lives in northern Idaho, and I had tapping on the window at frickin' 4 a.m. And we're not talking somebody's finger tapping. I mean, he lives out in the middle. He's an hour away from the Canadian border. He is out in the woods, There ain't nobody around. And especially at 4 a.m. And I mean, it woke me up from a dead sleep. Donk, 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 donk. And it woke me up by the time I got to my glasses and my cell phone, ran out there. Of course, it's gone.
Right.
And our dog has never slept in the bed with us a night in his life. And our dog insisted on being right in between me and my wife in bed for the remainder of the time we were there.
Wow.
When we were driving back and we got to Klamath Falls, Oregon, that's our midway stop, stayed the night, he was right back in his bed. But that morning, I mean, I woke my wife up. I'm like, did you hear that? And she's a sound sleeper. Nothing wakes her up. And she said, I didn't hear nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. And went back to sleep. I think I got up at like 7:30 that morning. My wife was standing by the back door with a cup of coffee already and my phone. See ya. I know where you're going. I looked at that window. There was a big hand streak.
Wow.
1-inch finger marks. From here to here was almost 10 inches.
Wow. That's what I like, that handprint, that muddy handprint on the side of my shutter the next day.
Right.
It was wider than my hand. And I don't have no little hands. It was probably 1.5 times my hand.
Yeah, I would say it's probably about what mine was too, about 1.5 times the size. But I mean, I have a whole nother channel called Northern Idaho Forest Ninjas, and that was actually my first YouTube channel. And to this day, I'm still getting people sending me emails look what I found in your video, you know, and there's one standing by a tree just watching me walk through the woods in the backyard of the property. You know what I mean? And my father-in-law's lived there for, almost 40 years. But he's never been into the topic. He doesn't know what to look for. He doesn't know the signs and stuff like that.
Right.
He's
it was like me. It was like me. My whole life I had all these weird things happen, but I just something else. Yeah. And until you become aware of it, you just don't know.
That's right. Then when you start becoming aware of it, you're like, wait a minute. I remember when I was out hunting that one time, and something hit me in the head. I turned around and it was an acorn, you know, falling out of the tree. But in fact, it was a rock being tossed at you, you know.
Right. You know? Another thing that happened too over at my parents. They live about 30 miles from me. They had chicken houses, and all the time stepdad, he complained about somebody got in the chicken houses last night and tore up the waters or tore up the feeders, and I had feed spill or I had water spill, and it was all the time stuff like that happening, and chickens coming up missing. Yeah. And I often wonder if that could have been them, you know, getting in the chicken houses.
Absolutely. I don't know how many countless stories I've heard of chicken pens getting raided. You know what I mean? Actually, as a guy who usually in the chat and stuff called Livewire, he's got pictures of them around his house and stuff, and one of them is hiding behind his daughter's play equipment, you know, peeking out. So, I mean, they're crafty, they're smart, they're stealth. I mean, at the same time, they're absolute jokers.
Yeah,
absolute jokers. So,
well, they played that little game on me, putting the strawberry leaves down in my nozzle. It was kind of like they were telling me, okay, we understand why you put that net up. You don't want us getting the strawberries, but we're going to let you know that we can still get in there by putting the strawberry leaves down in the nozzle. That's telling me that, hey, we can still do it, but we're going to respect you. That's what I took from it anyway.
It's a good thing to take away from it. Say, hey, you tried, but it didn't work. You know?
The only time they did any damage was the batteries in my truck and my tractor that time.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the stories. I know I've heard the stories. Christy and both Lewis have heard stories. People get around them, and all of a sudden their battery goes from 95% battery to 0 like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and see, before I learned all that stuff, I would just wrote that off as just a coincidence. But knowing what I knew then, that they do drain batteries down, that's probably what happened.
Well, given the odd nature of some of your stories and stuff, where do you stand? Now, I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong answer on this, but where do you stand on what they are? Flesh and blood, interdimensional, spiritual?
I kind of swing towards the Nephilim related, not necessarily the Nephilim, but related in that area, that they have some type of angelic history in them. And according to how pure-blooded they are, they can do more things. They can manifest more things. They can disappear, or it's just according to how pure-blooded they are. That's my best guess. I mean, it fits the description in the Bible about the giants. You know, there was like I think 30 different tribes of giants, and they all had their own unique look. You know, like I forget, one of them was called the long necks. I forget what the actual word was for long neck. So there was some that they called the lion men. That was I think David was involved with the line. Yeah, but that's my best guess.
Well, I mean, everyone has their opinions, and we respect that, of course. You know, and you're probably not the only person out here that has that opinion. You know,
Right.
um, you know, it just we're curious, and you know, we don't dispute anything at all. I mean, so
Like Wes says, if we got one in the garage to study it, so we can't really know anyway.
right. Until we can sit down and have a game of poker with one and
Yeah.
ask it some casual questions. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's all speculation. It's all theory. You know, it's all
But one thing I know for a fact, they exist. That I know. I have no doubt.
yeah.
And
So
people think you're
you're
crazy.
not a believer now. You're a knower.
I know. I absolutely know. That one I seen that night. I mean, that was absolute 100%. That was a squatch, no doubt. It fit everything. It had the cone shaped head. It looked like like I said, it looked like he had a big, like one of those Alaskan parkas on, and the hair swinging on his arms. It was about probably 6 inches long.
And that's a description that goes through a lot of
Yeah.
sightings. It looked like a human with this big, huge winter coat on that you would
Right.
hike like Antarctica in. You know what I mean?
Exactly what it looked like, man. Oh,
You
that
know?
reminds me. My parents were coming home one night from church, and this is probably about 3 or 4 miles from their house. And they stopped at where the road teed off, and there was a dirt road right straight across from them. And their headlights hit something that was squatted down. And my mom described it. It had an 8 face, and it was squatting. I said, "Well, y'all saw a squatch?" "No, I don't think it was nothing like that." I said, "That's what you saw. Your description is describing a squatch that's squatting."
And that's another position people see them in, sitting on their haunches. You know what I
But
mean?
this was
So,
sitting right in the middle of the dirt road.
yeah. You know, they'll hide in plain sight.
Oh yeah,
You know, they'll just blend in next to a tree, and that's one thing I've experienced in my area. And part of their tactic is if you don't move, the humans don't see you. You know, because people are directed towards movement and sound. If you don't make a movement, if you don't make a sound, they won't see you. You know.
Well, I mean,
All right,
it makes
Christy
sense.
sent me
I've dressed up in my camouflage, go turkey hunting, and as long as I'm still, I've had people walk up on top of me, be sitting right there, and they don't ever see me.
Right. But I've done it. I've done an experiment too and stuff. I actually sat 10 feet up on a bank, not wearing any camouflage. I was actually wearing a bright red T-shirt that day, and I sat there on a very highly traveled trail. And you know who saw me?
Nobody.
Well, nobody except for a 7-year-old boy. Mommy, there's someone sitting up on the hill right there. Oh, come on, let's go. Here's some water. No, you're just seeing things. just dismissed it without even looking. And I'm literally just sitting there watching all of this, just going, how do you even survive? You know? I mean, how do you survive with not looking around in your surroundings and seeing what's going on?
Exactly.
You know? I mean,
I'm gonna show some pictures of his. Chrissy just sent me a bunch of them, so we're just gonna go through them, and you can tell us about them if you want to.
All right.
awesome.
All right.
Oops. have to kind of zoom in, I think, here. Unless everybody needs glasses to see that pool. All right, so what are we looking at here?
Oh, that's behind the house. That was in the evening one time, and I noticed something that wasn't there before, and it looked like a couple of them standing there in the wood line.
You back in here?
Yeah, right. I mean, you can't. It's not big enough. I can't, point it out.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It is kind of. I can zoom in more, but it would be really distorted.
Oh, I see that. That grass hanging right there. That's grass right there. Yeah, that's what that picture is. Something weaved some grass and hung it right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's what that is.
Yeah.
It ain't birds. I can tell you, birds did not do that. That's on a flat surface.
Right.
That is, hey, we haven't gone nowhere. We're still here kind of message.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a Sasquatch post-it. We ain't gone nowhere. We're still here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the grass again.
Yeah.
Different angle.
Yeah, I mean, a bird's not going to do that. A bird is not going to do that.
That's a flat surface right there. There's no way they could even build a nest right there.
They would have had
This was hanging on a hook. This was hanging on a hook.
Oh, wow. So that would have had to been literally placed up there and deliberately hooked on that hook.
Like I say, I live on this dead end down here, and ain't nobody come down here unless I know they're here.
That's a right foot, right?
Yeah, that's one I found down there. That's at my grandmother's farm. Me and my son was down in the River Swamp. That's a small foot, about the size of that cigarette case right there.
Damn. What? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. I found one just about that size too before. Yeah.
Looked like a juvenile is what I thought it looked like.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's a narrow heel and it comes out real wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. That's pretty cool right there. I like that.
And that's why I used to find footprints as a kid. Like I say, I went down there barefoot and I didn't think nothing about it at the time. I just figured somebody else was down there barefoot.
All right.
Yeah, there was somebody down there barefoot. It wasn't no person.
Right, yeah.
I actually shot at him yesterday.
That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, I walked down to the stand. I took my shotgun with me. It was a double-aught buck, and that joker jumped up. He was about 30 yards from me. And I got two good solid shots at him, but I could never find him. I think he went down in the creek. A deer, when it gets wounded, sometimes they'll go in the water and submerge and just stick their nose out.
Right.
So I think that's what he done.
Well, I bet you one of those Bigfoots got him.
Sure. Yeah.
It could be.
Oh, yeah.
Could be. It's funny and stuff because they say, animals can't see the IR light. They don't have vision for that. You know what? I've used game cam so much, and I have so many pictures of damn deer staring straight at the camera when it's taking a video of them. Don't tell me they don't. They see the IR light. I've seen possums. I've seen squirrels. I've seen deer. I've seen raccoons. They all see the damn light. They're staring right at it.
I get them every day. I check that camera every day, and there's always at least one that's staring right at it.
Staring right at it. They see the light, man. They don't.
Hey, that's a footprint there.
All right, let me see if I'm gonna go back.
That's a good footprint right there.
Make sure I didn't pass it up. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a big one there. Look at that. That's big.
Yeah, it's big.
Golly.
I don't know if that's that dog man or what. That just don't really look like a squash track.
Yeah, it's not as long as a Bigfoot print. It's like
it's real short.
Yeah, and that's definitely, it looks like a dog in the way the toes come out, And look how long the claws come out.
The toes are they look very long, but I'm sure a lot of that's claw mark.
Yeah, the claw holes right there. You can totally see them.
Yep.
Look at that. That's crazy right there.
Oh, this reminded me of something too. When I be down in that river swamp on my grandparents' land, I'd run across these like structures in the woods. It was kind of like an igloo, but it was made out of limbs and stuff. At the time, I didn't know what the heck it was. I just thought it was kind of weird. It looked like I didn't see how it's possible for the trees to fall in that position. But I find those things down in the swamp. Well, I know what they are now.
Well, you said you used the term igloo structure.
Yeah, it was like an igloo structure.
In my area recently, I have buckets, feeding buckets for the Bigfoot, and I've recently had to move them because of dogs and people. The place I moved them to, I thought was a good place, but I think I figured it all out. One of the Bigfoot's kind of a jerk. I call him Mr. Pissy now. I used to call him Big Feller, but apparently he is the shot caller for the group. And I was out there yesterday, and I guess the sun was just right. I had never noticed this before. The sun was just right. And there seemed to be this igloo structure made of limbs and sticks. And I kid you not, it must have been 10 feet tall.
Oh, yeah,
25 feet wide at the base.
That's what I find.
It is directly in line with the other two Bigfoot's areas, like their neighbors, you know what I mean? So they would have to come through his area to get to the bucket. And the buckets haven't been touched in a month since I moved them. And now I know why. Because they have to go through his area to get to the buckets. He's being a jerk and won't let them go through his area. So we're on to moving day 2. we're gonna go the other direction, and we're unfortunately, I don't want to eliminate him from the goodies, but if he's gonna be a jerk about it.
Did you take that stuff off the bucket?
No, not yet.
Why?
Because I figured it out. It's Big Feller.
I know, but
Big Feller being a jerk, he won't let Mercy and Fletch through the area to get to the bucket.
Oh, shoot. You have to find another one for them.
So I'm gonna take the buckets down. I'm gonna go north on the other side and put the buckets up somewhere. And then I'll on my way in, I'll stop by and I'll just leave him a couple apples.
There you go.
It's a good faith thing. If he gets them, he gets them. If not, then
that's
whatever.
On him.
But I mean, yeah,
he's
definitely the older of the group. You could tell he's absolutely massive. He's the biggest, and I understand where he's coming from. He's just looking out for his kind. I get it. But he knows that I'm not a problem. He knows I'm not a threat. You know? But it just, you said an igloo structure, and just yesterday, I was able to see, like I said, the light was just right. It's this perfect igloo structure. Yeah. And I'm going, that ain't a bush.
Yeah. And that's kind of what it looks like when you first look at it. It's like,
you know,
it looks like a bunch of clump of stuff growing, and when we first look at it, and then you move up closer, and then you see that it's hollowing inside, and then you get a better look at it, and then you see, well, dang, that's like an igloo.
Well, the thing is I usually get up there earlier than what I got up there yesterday. So the sun is in a different position, which casts shadows and makes things look a lot different than what they really are. And yesterday I got up there later than normal, so the sun was more overhead. And I'm standing at my buckets, and the heck is that? When I saw it, it was just like, that's not normal, you know? That's not. And before I moved the buckets from the original places where I was having awesome, time with it, I could hear down in that valley bunches of branch breaking and branch breaking and branch breaking and just all kinds of ruckus down there. And then I see that and it's like, okay, now I know what all that branch breaking was about. He was building that, Interesting to see
that's other stuff I've heard, growing up down in that swamp. I hear stuff like that, crashing noises and breaking noises, and like I say, at that time you just brush it off as something else.
It's one thing we like to do here and stuff is we like to compare the similarities between Christy's area, my area, Lewis's area to other people's areas, and they're so similar in so many ways.
Right.
I mean, wow, very interesting.
Yep, it is.
Very interesting.
Oh, I got sidetracked there. I know you were showing those pictures, and I got sidetracked. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Did you do another podcast with somewhere else? Because I kind of recognize your voice.
Yeah, I did one with Wes Germer, and I've also did one with Christy and Scott.
Okay. Yeah, I recognize. I think I've heard your voice a few times. Yeah. So I can tell by the way you talk. I heard this before.
The Alabama accent. Alabama accent.
Yeah. There were certain words you say caught my ear before, and then now I just heard it a few minutes ago, and I'm like, okay, I know. I heard this guy. Okay. So, yeah, I could put up those pictures again. I think I don't know how many's left, but it was just.
Do you have that one that I took when I cut the trees out of the road? I've got it on my phone. I don't know how I can access it.
I don't know if Christy sent that one or not. Let me see. I'll bring it up again. This one here.
I don't know. I had what you had sent me. I mean, I got pictures of the dead dogs.
I sent it. I sent that one to you one time. And you brightened it up for me. And you sent it back.
I sent it back, but I don't have it no more. It was on my other phone.
Yeah. That was a good picture too.
Yeah.
That was beside the deer stand. That was beside the deer stand. I caught a hare. It looked like a hare, hanging down that the camera caught. And I
How big is that?
Found that footprint. That's not very big. That's about a 12-inch.
Oh, okay. All right, let me
I think it's a juvenile. Because that one I took a picture of that was bent over where I cut them trees down. I use my skills as reconstruction of accident scenes and crime scenes, and that thing's 10 foot tall, easy. I reconstructed the whole area, triangulated it and all. That thing he would have stood straight up. It'd have been 10 foot tall. Massive, big thing.
Boy. Wow. That's a big boy.
You can see it's like he blends in so well, man. I forget that guy down in Florida. He talks about the hair being reflective and it picks up the background. Yeah. And I really believe that.
It picks up the reflection of the light off of the foliage.
Right. And this thing just blends in so well.
Yeah, it comes out green or dark green or
right. Gray, and it picks up everything. And you can look at this picture, and you can see his hand. He's gripping one of the trees. He's bent over. He's looking up the hill at me, and he's got one foot, his left foot, kind of stepping forward, and if you look close enough, you can see the toes, the whole foot and the toes. But he blends in so well. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even see him when I took the picture. I didn't even see him.
Right. One thing I've noticed and stuff is out in my adventures, I don't even try and notice them when I'm out there because they're so well at camouflaging. You probably won't see it unless it's stepped out right in front of you. What I do is I just go out and I
drug trees. That's where they drug trees across the road right there.
Yeah, what I do is I just go out and I just videotape everything, and I go through the videotape, and through the videotape you'll see stuff. You know,
that's what Scott. What's his name? Carpenter, is it? One in Tennessee. What's his name? Yeah, he does that. Works with the camera to show it backwards.
Yeah, he's got it on his shoulder facing backwards, and he's gotten some pretty incredible images from doing that.
Whoa, look at this thing. The heck?
Oh, that's on my grandma's place. It looks like they broke that. These were trees that we always burn our timber every year, and it looks like these are some trees that they snapped over and laid it in like a triangle shape.
Wow, is that a trail right here next to it?
No, that's just it's probably some deer trails right in there.
Because usually they'll block a trail that you walk down and try to block you from coming in.
Well, these are actually above my head. These were in a structure above my head. They pushed one into one tree, and then they pushed another one into the same tree, and it made a triangle shape.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful.
Yeah, triangle is a pretty common symbol for them to use.
Yeah, there's where they pulled the stuff out in the middle of the road and made a triangle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Triangle, Y shape.
Actually, that day I told them, I said, look here, y'all, I got to use this road. I said, I'm not going to bother y'all. Y'all just do what you normally do. I said, but don't be pulling stuff out in the middle of the road. And it stopped. That day I said that to them, they stopped doing it.
Yeah. You know what? I was
there's the antenna pole.
I was gifted the wonderful gift of intestines from some woodland creature. It was wrapped around a twig, stretched up, wrapped around 3 times around another twig, and pulled down and wrapped around again. I'm sorry, but an animal isn't going to do that. But I said, I looked at it, and it's it's literally in my face, right where on a trail. I mean, they wanted me to find it. They wanted me to see it. And I said, if this is for me, I appreciate it, but I'm not here for the gifts. Right. I don't do this because I want you to give me stuff back. I do this because I want you. I like you. We're friends. And it stopped. Never got another thing from them again. Well,
I've gotten gifts too. I forgot about that. I found they like green rocks. They leave me green rocks. I've gotten 2 of those. At my feed bins. It's always at the feed bin where they've gotten into my food. They leave the little green rock.
Yeah, they're probably saying thank you for letting us have a couple handfuls. Oh,
that's the muddy handprint on the side of the shutter the next day.
Nice.
It doesn't show. It doesn't show good on the picture, right. But you can make out a hand.
Yeah, it looks like the main part of it might have been the palm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I've had water bottles. I got rabbits and ducks and chickens out here around my chicken pen, and And it was actually a water bottle. It's an actual water bottle. It showed up.
Was it blue?
No, it was it's clear. Oh, I got it right here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. That showed up. It's a I can't even read it. I see. Deluxe water. It's backwards, so I'm trying to read it. But anyways, it's a water. It's actual water bottle. And I think I was out there. One of my rabbit waters had broken, and I was saying I'm going to have to buy a new water bottle for it. And this thing shows up.
They heard you.
It was laying right beside the rabbit pen too.
They heard you.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
Yeah. They will.
And they left a board one time, a painted board. I'm like, I ain't got no painted boards. It was not a completely painted board. It was a board that had some spray paint on it. And they left it out there at the chicken pen. That's around. I got feed bins out there too. It's like they left that as a gift or something. Because I didn't have no pieces of wood like that around my place.
Here's a story for you, because you said that you needed to replace the water bottle. And all of a sudden a water bottle shows up. A good friend of mine was talking to his wife, and she needed some new mud boots, and hers had a hole in it and stuff like that. And he replied, "Okay, we'll go in the next couple of days and get you some." Well, that next morning there was a brand new pair of mud boots in the back of his truck, and he don't know where the heck they came from. You don't know where the heck they came from. So
that's pretty amazing there now.
You know what I mean? It's they're interesting. The way they operate and the way they do things within themselves and with us. It's what keeps us going, you know, and into looking into it, you know. It's like that, you know.
I think he clicked that on us.
And I definitely think that if you go into one of their areas, they will try to intimidate you and scare you. And if you go running off like a dog with its tail between its legs, then so be it. But if you stand there and, what was that? Let's go find out, and show some curiosity. Then they'll start giving you stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah. This guy knows about us. He's not running. We threw rocks and limbs at him. We growled at him. He ain't running away. He knows about us. Let's have fun. You know what I mean? So,
well, I'm not showing no fear towards them. I've told them. I said, you know, y'all ain't running me off. I said, this is where I live at. I said, you're welcome to use the place. It's your place too. I said, but we're gonna live here together.
That's right. That's right. That's a good way of going about it. Because you know what? That was probably their land before that house was put there.
Right.
So
when I was building my deer stand, and this before all this activity started, or before I noticed the activity, I was down there working on that deer stand, and it just felt like somebody was watching me, man. I felt it just thick on me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can relate to it. It was super thick, just heavy, just a heavy feeling of something watching me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I had my pistol and I just took it out and pop, shot it around. and it stopped. But now I know who it was. That's who it was. That's who was watching me build that deer stand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the deer stand. I put a urinal. I put a urinal in it too.
What you were doing with this tree? That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Wondering what you were doing with this tree.
Well, I built it out of 4x4s, 16-foot tall 4x4s, and I put the post in the ground and cemented them in the ground, and I built my structure on top of it.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed too and stuff is if you know about them and you know the signs, you know what to look for, you know what to listen for. The best thing you can do is just go about your day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do.
Go about your day.
That's exactly what I do.
They are very curious. They will come around and watch what you're doing. You know what I mean?
So, I have them growl at me too over here. One day, me and my lady friend was over there feeding my chickens, and we was walking back towards the house, and we both heard a like that. I said, "Did you hear that?" She goes, "Yeah, I did." I said, "There's them boogers."
Yeah.
And just about 3 or 4 months ago, I was sitting out back, and a friend of mine was over there, come up, dropped by, and they had a fire out back. And we were sitting there talking, and I heard a whistle. And there's nothing behind my house except woods and swamp.
Huh.
And this is in the fall year. I mean, mockingbirds will sing during the summertime when the dog star is missing. They'll sing all through the summer. But as soon as the Orion's belt shows back up and the dog star appears again, they quit singing at night. And this was in October, so the dog star's already back. Right after that whistle, I hear a mockingbird to the left of me, and then a mockingbird answers to the right of me, and they go back and forth several times. So I believe that was them.
I've had a whistling contest with one in Idaho. That's actually on my Northern Idaho Forest Ninjas channel. I actually did get it on video. And again, I was out in the barn working on my father-in-law's dump truck, 7 o'clock in the morning, putting lights in the bumper, those LED lights, because the headlights were just junk. When you're out there and there ain't no street lights and you're relying on old technology, the light doesn't go very far. So I was putting lights in and cutting into this metal bumper, making all kinds of noise, banging. And I'm sitting there fitting the light, and I hear, huh, that was weird. Never heard that sound out here before. I go back to what I'm doing, you know, marking the holes and stuff to drill the holes and stuff like that. And there it is again. And by the third time, I'm like, okay, let's go look. So instead of going outside and looking, I went to the wall where the door is of the barn, and I just I whistled back. I didn't show myself, but I whistled back, and it whistled back. I did it again. It whistled back. It went on for 10 minutes before I even took my dang phone out and went, I don't know what's going on here, but I've been whistling back and forth with this thing for the last 10 minutes. And I whistled, and it whistled back. Now, remind you, there's snow on the ground. You know what I mean? Turkeys don't whistle. You know what I mean? We got a lot of turkey out there. We got deer. You know, I mean, I've heard deer calls. You know what I mean? The grunts and the groans and the huffs, and you know, I've heard all that. This was nothing. I mean, this was very human-like, but it almost sounded metallic at the same time. And I got 2.5 minutes of it on video. It's on my channel. I mean, and then that same trip was when we got the tapping on the glass and the big hand streak. And okay.
When the Squatches whistle at the women, it's called Squatch candy.
Okay, he's gonna die over there. He's laughing so hard. He's turning red.
Who?
Wow.
Kevin,
So
he's choking over there after you did that.
Choking. You guys are so dang funny.
Oh,
I got my Squatch glasses on.
Chrissy's got to let loose right now.
I'm trying to make it like.
yeah, I think once I get my hip replaced and I'm able to get active again, I think I'm going.
I know they put it off because of the COVID. You told me, but when are you supposed to?
Well, last year, the day before the surgery, they called and said, we had to postpone it for the 21st. And I said, that ain't going to work for me. My son already took off work for 2 weeks. They said, I said, he can't turn around and take off again. I said, you know what? I got a lot of stuff to do right now. I got my garden going, and I'll just wait till the fall of the year and we'll line this back up. So this is where I'm at now.
Oh, no.
So the 24th is supposed to replace my hip, and I asked the doc how long it would be before I get back on my tractor. He said about 6 weeks. So.
Oh, that's not bad. As long as you can do when they put you with physical therapy, you got to be at it. You know, that's what they give my dad. The nurse came today at my sister's house because that's where my parents are staying. They're not obviously here. My dad's got the physical therapist coming out, and he's been working with her. You know. Trying to get that foot back to going again.
Right.
So start running, you know.
But I'm hoping once I get that healed up, I'm going to try to start doing a little, try to get some of this actually, because I hear stuff all the time. I hear knocks, and other night I walked out on the patio about 2:30 in the morning, and I heard a roaring. It lasted about 3 or 4 minutes. Just a roaring, way off in distance. It was just a loud, like a caveman yell. That's the best way I can describe it. Caveman yell. Yeah, it was way off in the distance.
You recorded it.
That's what I'm saying. I need to get all this stuff to do this stuff, and I ain't got none of that to do it. I've just been too focused on other stuff that I haven't got any of the equipment that I actually need.
Well, once you need your hip replacement, you'll have 6 weeks to do it.
All you need is a cell phone.
Buy a parabolic or buy parts of one. That'd be pretty cool. Parabolic. Yeah. They're expensive though, but if you buy the parts, I think it's much cheaper. Because you can buy a parabolic thing, but then drill a hole and do your own microphone.
Just a big funnel.
That's all it is. Just a bowl with a hole.
I'm gonna get busy with that because I've been saying it ever since I moved here. When things started, I started realizing they was here on my place. I've been saying ever since I was gonna get serious with this and get some equipment and start trying to document stuff.
Do you have like a side-by-side at your disposal?
That recorder is perfect.
No, that I do not have. I use my tractor.
Okay, so you can go out there a little ways, but you're kind of limited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
hurts really bad to get out and walk too much. And I do I do what I have to do to feed my animals and keep my garden up. But I don't get no hurry, and I take my time and I rest a lot.
Yeah, because
all you need to do is 2 GoPros, hook them up, and then get a voice recorder. Hook up one on each side of your tractor, and then drive through the woods so they can see each side of you, and then get a recorder and put it out there. And I tell you, you're going to get a lot of stuff on that recorder.
You don't need to go far either. Generally, within 100 yards of your house, you're going to start finding stuff.
just throw your recorder out into the woods. You'll get something.
Yeah.
Leaving again?
Yeah, I'm gonna get busy with it because like I said, I've been saying it since I lived here. I was gonna get serious with it. Like I said, I just run across it just doing my everyday thing, you know.
Right. You know,
And then,
just doing your own thing and stuff. They get curious and they come in and they'll knock on a tree or something like that, or they'll throw something at the house or whatever, you know.
I've had that happen too. In fact, one time I had went into my bathroom and something threw something on top of the roof right there on top of where the bathroom's at.
Bam!
While you're in it?
What's that?
While you're in there?
Yeah, I had just walked in there. I was outside and I walked in, and as soon as I walked in the bathroom, bam! Right there on top of the roof.
That's crazy.
Where the bathroom is.
Where you're at too.
And I found sticks up on top of the roof. And there's nowhere these sticks could have come from.
Right. That's one thing about living out in the woods and stuff is you clear away all the tall trees from around the house.
Right. Exactly.
Snow load, high winds, push that tree over onto your house and you're screwed.
Yeah.
So first thing you do is you take all the high trees out. You got nothing above it. There's no way a stick or anything can end up on your roof unless it's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I found bunches of sticks on top of the roof. And I'm not throwing them up there. And then, like I say, there ain't nobody coming down here. I know if somebody's down here. My dog's going to let me know if I don't see him. He's going to let me know.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, it's like being in the woods. She's in her motorhome, and then they tap right next to her face.
Yeah. She's got that little window.
They're at. Like, where my head is at.
Yeah. Donk.
Yeah, it's like, here you are.
Oh. Yep, I know where you are, right here.
Yeah.
You know. So
That would be very disturbing, sleeping and all of a sudden you see a big old finger like poking at the thing going, and you see, You're like, yeah, can I help you? Get out of here, hairy one, unless you want to shave.
That's what my dog saw, and that's why he insisted on sleeping between me and my wife. He saw it. I mean, I wish I could put electrodes on his head and see what he saw. You know what I mean? Because
I think my dog's made friends with him, man.
You know what? My dog would make freaking friends with a grizzly bear trying to eat him, and this thing scared him. You know.
When I actually sometimes I go out and be doing something out in the yard, same place. He runs down the road that goes around my place. He runs down the road and goes in the woods in the same exact spot. And that's that spot always had the activity coming out of.
That's his spot.
He likes to go down there. I said, "What do you got? You got a girlfriend down there? A fox girlfriend down there?" And then I got to think about it. I said, "Ooh, and boogers might be made friends with him. He may go down there and visit them."
They have known to do that too. I've seen a report that this.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's what made me think of that.
Yeah.
No
LA
way.
Swamp Ape.
Yeah, they made friends with one of the dogs that I know of. It's crazy.
Ain't no way.
LA Swamp Ape. They were throwing them dog bones to keep them from barking.
Oh yeah.
And that one too, yeah.
You know? And now the dogs go out and they see them and they don't even bark anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So
Well, that's like
They get to know him.
yeah.
That's like at Tony Hill's place. He was on the phone with me one night, and he had a little chihuahua or something, and the dog came back with a piece of meat in its mouth. He's like, "Where'd you get that from?"
Right. But at the same time, he also lost one of his dogs.
Yes, I think that was the one. He lost the boxer, I believe.
He lost the other one, yeah. So
But the little one got thrown from something, threw it and must have hit it because the dog. He said that the dog ran off and came back and it was scared. It was hurt.
yeah, probably got smacked.
I think they're like people, man. You got some of them they're mean and they'll eat your dog, and you got some that like your dog.
Yeah.
You know, they're a lot like people in their attitudes. Every one of them is different. You know, you got the one and stuff that wouldn't hesitate to pull a stick on you, and then you got the ones that wouldn't hesitate to hold their hand out in a handshake. You know what I mean? They're all different.
Right.
They all have different personalities, different
Well,
attitudes.
think about these young kids. 3-year-old bear took care of them. Do you think that was a darn bear that took care of them?
That was no dang bear. That was no
It was
dang
20-degree weather. 20-degree weather in a swamp. Yeah,
and then just magically set him in the middle of a bush.
Exactly.
To where they actually had to like clear the bush out to get the kid out.
Right.
A quarter mile away from his aunt's house, which he spends a lot of time at. So they knew where he belonged. Yeah, that wasn't no bear.
Exactly.
That wasn't no bear. No way.
A bear would have ate him. That time of year anyway, the bears would have been hibernating probably.
Right? Yeah, 20 degrees, they probably would have been going into hibernation. So, yeah.
And if he wasn't hibernating, he probably would have made him his darn winter meal.
You know, yeah. You know, I mean, they're trying to pack on the pounds for winter hibernation. Yeah, they would have been a meal for sure, you know?
Exactly. It was burgers that did that. I believe that.
That seems to be the go-to excuse for all of these encounters. It was a bear. You saw a bear. I'm sorry, but a bear don't walk on two legs like it's been walking on two legs its entire life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a bear can stand up. Yes, they can. And they can walk for a very short distance, but it's a very stumbled, labored walk.
I bet the kid told him what it was, and then they told him, "No, it was a bear. You need to say it was a bear."
That is also another possibility. Absolutely another.
Because I believe I have no doubt the government knows about these things.
He probably came out and said it was a hairy man. The hairy man took
Mm-hmm.
The hairy man.
Exactly.
What do you mean the hairy man? Well, it was a hairy man. You know, I mean, a hairy man. A hairy man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you either got some mountain man out there stealing kids and then returning them to wherever they belong, which is probably slim to none. Sure as hell ain't want no bear. That's for sure. He would have ended up as dinner.
Exactly.
What does that leave? Well, that leaves Bigfoot. And I've heard several stories. Lady in the Wood can attest to this. They've been seen. They've been known to help people.
Right.
They have been known to help people in distress. I think what happened was the parents weren't paying attention. The kid wandered off. And, well, luckily he ran across a nice one.
Right.
Well, it was like that one, same thing. Like this kid used to be abused by his grandfather and the animals too. So the kid always took off. I know you guys might have heard the story. And then he used to take off all the time, and the grandfather would come out with his car to try to find him. And when he did find him, he'd tie him to the bumper. And
I've heard this. Yeah.
Yeah, and the kid tried to run across the swamp area, but he was almost going to drown. The female flew across this swampy area and yanked him right out of the water and put him on dry land. Took off before the little man was coming back. That was pretty amazing right there.
Yeah, I heard that story. I heard one time this guy was on his Jeep. He was trying to go down these logging roads, and it was all washed out, and he got his Jeep stuck. And he said they paced him all the way out to the road. Wow. And he actually called a ride and then called somebody to come get him. And then the next day they went back to get his Jeep pulled out of the ditch, and the Jeep had then picked up and placed on the road.
Yeah. It in tracks and then whoop and then plump.
I actually heard that one today. I think I was listening to Buck. What's his name? Oh gosh, Dixie Cryptid.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets a lot of good stories. So does Duke, World Bigfoot Radio.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, that's you start listening to these stories, and you got a person in, say, New York, and then you have a person in freaking Washington, and they're talking about the same encounter. You know what I mean? Well, there's a lot of similarities between encounters. Right. It's really amazing and stuff on how similar they are around the country, but at the same time, they're individualized by the Bigfoot. You know what I mean? They did something just a little different than the other story and stuff like that, which really shows that they have very different personalities and very
Kind of
different
like
attitude.
tribal stuff, you know.
Right.
They
Right.
all got a common thing because that's their nature.
Right.
But then
Because
you've got
it's hard.
individual travel type.
Yeah, it's hardwired into their system.
Right.
But yet they just throw their little twist on whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? So.
Well, take this in consideration. Say you bought a piece of land and you've lived there all your life, and the Sasquatch walk in that woods that's by your house. They've been knowing you all your life. And say you come across a hog and it's coming after you. It's going to be in their nature to protect you because you're part of their family. They can see
Right. Right.
you know?
Because you've never come after them. You've never shown any harm. You've never shown any threat to them. So therefore, you are a good human. You know what I mean?
To be honest with you, I don't think I even want to try to shoot one because if you did, they're never alone.
Oh.
No. I mean, you took a shot at one and stuff. Either one of the ones from either side of you are going to come after you. I can guarantee you that.
Either
and
that, if you get out,
and I do not have a desire to shoot one. I mean, if the thing was coming at me and I thought he was going to kill me, that'd be a different story.
Yeah, it's a different story.
You know, they've been known to bluff.
They've never bothered me. They've never bothered me.
That's
like I said, I've walked in the woods with them my whole life and didn't know at the time. That's what I know for a fact that had to be what it was. I mean, it's just,
but if you walk in the woods, go ahead.
The stuff pacing me and stuff. I mean, that's exactly what it was. And the footprint.
If you remember, if you walk in the woods and you shoot at them, try to remember they won't forget you because if you got to go back
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just ain't got no desire to shoot one.
a long time ago and stuff, when I was visiting that Fawnskin area, I had some pretty crazy experiences and couldn't really explain them. And then once I started thinking about it, and it's like, okay, well, there's something more to these beings. There's definitely something more to these beings. And I came home and went about my day, and I started noticing odd things around my house. I live in the middle of the frickin' city, LA, Los Angeles. And weird stuff like a leaf from a plant tucked underneath the pot of another plant. I had a blue rock out on a tree limb, and it disappeared for 8 months. And it showed up 8 months later, right in front of my rabbit cage. Well, the first thing I do every morning when I walk outside is I go and cover my rabbit. And that rock was sitting right in front of the rabbit cage. You know, I've been growled at from a tree in the corner of my yard that you can't hide behind. There's no room to hide behind. But yet this growl sent a chill up my spine to where I actually backed up and went, WTF. You know what I mean? and they know your intent. And I started thinking about all this stuff that's happened to me around here after going to this particular place. And I think that everyone's energy is different. It's like a radio station. Everyone has a different channel. You know what I mean? And I think that they could lock on to that channel if they find or think that you're going to be a potential problem. They can lock onto that channel for a little while and know exactly where you are at any given time. And they could drop in on you and say, "Hey, we're here," you know. So I mean, this is just some of the weirder stuff that I've experienced. I've also experienced very heavy footfalls directly behind me at the area. Turn around, there's nothing there. I mean, footfalls that are so clear and so fast, I have time to think someone is running up behind me. I turn around, there's nothing there. You know,
I've had that being I've been in a deer stand and have at first when I first heard it, I thought it was a deer coming up, fixing to come out in the patch. And I got to listen to it, it sounded more like bipedal. And it stopped just in the edge of the woods and just
right at the tree line.
Stayed right there and you couldn't see him because it was right at dark. And it never moved again. When I climbed down out of the stand, it was pitch black dark by that time, and I shined a light over there. I didn't see anything, and I just walked on back to the house. But I'm pretty sure that's one of them. It just eased up right there within 15 feet of me.
Oh yeah. You know,
that's what they did to me too. During broad daylight, and I still couldn't see him, and he didn't move a wink, and he was standing in leaves. Not one leaf crackled. I mean, I was right there.
I walked up on Fletch 4 feet from him. He growled at me and I couldn't see him. You know what I mean? I didn't see him until I reviewed the video and noticed that he had moved back and was standing up watching me. And the only reason I noticed he was there is because I did a growl impression and he ducked and then slowly came back up. That was movement. I was attracted to the movement in the background. And you know, I mean, little did I know that big fella was standing 8 feet next to my left watching all of this go down. Never made a peep. Never made a dang peep. Never even knew he was there. You know, they're the masters of their environment. And their environment are the woods.
Right.
You know? That's all there is to it, you know? I mean, the Indians call them the protectors of the forest. You know?
Yep.
That's what they are. You go out there doing stupid stuff, playing stupid games, they're going to give you stupid prizes. Simple as that. You know?
We're on 2 hours. 2 hours.
All right. Well, I got one more thing to say, and I'm good. You know? Think about this. We have homes. You wouldn't want someone coming into your home and pissing in your plants, crapping on your front yard, stuff like that.
Right.
Well, guess what? The forest is their home. You think they want people out there doing stupid stuff?
Trashing up everything.
Right? Pissing in their living room. I mean, I understand most people don't understand that they're out there, and they probably don't believe that they're out there. But I'll guarantee you, from the moment you park your truck and get out, they're already watching you. They're watching you.
No doubt about it.
They're watching you the entire time. You do something stupid, they're going to let you know they're there.
I think it's good that he has a lot of them around his house because that way you keep humans from breaking in over in his house.
Yep.
They go through the woods and they'll be probably encounter one.
That's another thing that's in the Bible. It talks about the watchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bible talks about the watchers. They fit the description of a watcher. They watch.
Yeah, they watch. You know? And like, cool. You know, Kevin Lang and Glag.
Oh,
I'll never forget this comment coming out of Kevin's mouth. It was awesome going out into the woods every time because I had the best bodyguard you could ever have out in the woods. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You respect them. You respect their areas. They will respect you, and they will help you if you are in need of help. That is for sure.
I believe that.
Exactly. They have souls just like we do. They have minds just like we do. They have hearts.
They have morals.
Yeah. They are a lot more truthful. They show a lot of trust.
Coyotes, wolves, deer, raccoons, possums, it's all instinct.
Exactly.
These have a thought process. They have morals. They have rules. They have a social hierarchy.
Yes.
They have, you know, everything a human has. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I want to do a plug-in real quick. World Bigfoot Radio is premiering the saga of Glag #4 tonight. His show is starting, so if anybody wants to go check it out, go check it out. Yeah,
I got notification.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Me too.
What do we got? 30 minutes?
And Carl, do you have a channel?
No. I'm sorry?
Do you have a channel that you want to plug in?
No, I have no channel. I mean, I don't have no internet where I'm at. I'm talking about, I'm surprised this has held up that good. I'm using my phone over the, I'm shocked that it's actually worked.
Worked out really well, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it did.
You found that sweet spot in the house.
Exactly. I mean, I expected it to just be buffered and everything else.
Right.
That's it.
Well, Carl, it has been an absolute wonderful time talking with you.
Well, I definitely enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all inviting me.
Absolutely. We hope to get your hip replaced soon, and we can see you.
Amen.
We can see you out in the woods, showing us some of the stuff you find in the future. I done
told Christy I'm gonna be there to see her and Scott as soon as I get my hip going.
Right on. Can't wait for that to happen. Cool. Christy, it's wonderful to have you back with us.
Thank you, Kevin.
Don't scare us again.
I'm gonna not try to.
I'm into that.
I wasn't planning on doing that.
Don't scare us anymore. Our hearts can't take it. We're all getting older.
I know that. Yeah. Trust me.
And if they put you on blood pressure medicine, take it.
I'm taking it. Look, I ain't lying. Look, I got my bag right here. Look, let me show you. They gave me all kind of medicine. I got my hydroxine. That's for I'm suffering anxiety now. Yay. Yeah, then I got to take 2 aspirins a day. I got to chew one and swallow one. What makes the difference, right?
Yeah.
The chewed up one will get into your system faster than the swallow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Then I'm taking Atorvastatin. That's my blood pressure medicine, I think.
Yep.
Wait, hold on, not done. I got.
Wow. They may have to adjust it to get it right, but be sure you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 more. This is my collection right here. This is what I got to take, y'all.
Well, you do what you got to do because you got a lot of people in the chat to go visit.
Yeah, I know. That's what I want to do. Believe I got to take it easy. That's why I'm resting and doing what I'm doing right now. So
good. And you could tell your boss that I said you need 2 days off in a row.
Oh no, I'm off for a couple of weeks, sweetheart. I can't go back.
Oh, I know, but I know he works you to the bone every day of the week.
They grill me. Oh yeah, I'm on the road 24/7 with that place.
Yeah,
that's why I need another job.
Well,
Please pray for me to find something else to make more money. I need to get out of this hole.
Yes.
I call my work hell. That's what I call it. I call my boss the devil, and all his disciples that work with him, that work against the good people. It's just a nightmare. It's just smothering with negativity. Every time I get up to go to work in the morning, I'm like, I don't want to go. I just want to stay home.
Excuses. You're thinking of excuses not to go to work, and you're like, I already used that one. I already used that one. I used that one. And then you start hoping to get in a car accident on the way to work so you don't have to go to work.
Exactly.
I know how you feel.
Several of them. I know. Believe me.
I know how you feel.
And that's another reason why I want to get out of that damn job is because it's going to kill me before. This stroke ain't killed me. A car wreck is going to kill me.
Right.
You're going to see me on the news that I died in the middle of a car accident.
Well,
put a shortcut in the chat. Put a shortcut in the chat.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Thank you, Max. He put it up there. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Christy, glad to see you. Carl, thank you for joining us tonight and telling us your wonderful stories and the stuff you have going on around your house. And we hope to see some videos soon from you.
Yes.
And so it sounds like the group you have around your house is a very well behaved group.
Yeah.
And be interesting to see what kind of relationship you build up once you get your hip done. So
amen to that. I intend on trying to progress the relationship with them.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when you
all right, everybody,
come back to us, and then we'll put you back on here once you get started.
All right. Sounds good.
Channel out.
All right, everybody. Thank you much. Head over to Duke's World Bigfoot Radio for another wonderful Glag saga. And I'll be there.
Have many peace and blessings, everybody, and thanks again. Stay well and stay happy and smile.
God bless y'all. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later, Carl. Thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.